All right. So welcome to the video key of the January 2025 Regents. Again, this is in light of the fact that right now we've only covered units 1 through 4. And to pass this exam, you need 14, at least 14 out of the 37 questions correct to get about a 65. What is this number? 65%. Okay. That's the conversion chart right now. We don't know what's going to happen in June, but let's do our best. Okay. So first thing I want to do is I want to go through and just circle the ones that we've covered from units 1 through 4. So this is one that is a straight calculator as long as your mode is in radian. And I showed you how to do that last time, so I'm going to count this question. This is another one. This one has the word equivalent to, so I can use the store button for this. So I'm going to count this, or this little equal sign symbol. Solutions, you can graph that and figure out where they meet. Cool. Quotient, this is remainder theorem. We did that. And I would recommend doing this the first time when you get your regents. Go ahead and just circle the ones that you are going to attempt. This is some probability. We did not go through this. You could do this question from your knowledge of Algebra 1, but I'm not going to count it. Solutions, 100%. You could do end solve here. Factor of, this is another word for remainder theorem. Cool. This one is actually very simple to do because it says middle 95%. And I did go through this last time, so I will count that. So remember, anytime it says middle 95%, we do the mean plus or minus 2 times the standard deviation. So I'm going to say, okay, this is completely doable at this point. You don't have to count it if you don't feel confident, but I think after this lesson you will. Equivalent, cool, we could do that with the store button. Equivalent again, do you see this? Equivalent again, simple, all right. Subtracted from, we've done this before. We have not done standard deviation specifically, but you should be able to do a good guess, but I won't count this. This is using the calculator, the graphing calculator. 100% you could do that. Decay, we did this. Then x equals, that is completely doable, algebraically as well as on the calculator. Random sample. So since we did do things with given, I potentially would count this because this is completely doable, but okay, you talked me into it. I won't count it. This is inverse. Switch to x and y. We did this 100%. This one, what is the period? So I'm not going to count this. Should I count it? Maybe I'll count it. Okay, I won't because this is later on, but you can count it if you can do it. This is completely doable. Not equivalent to, cool, store button. This question right here, what is half of the minimum height of the original trail? Which one of these could be? Should I count this? This is questionable, I guess. Actually, completely doable. Okay, I'm going to count this because this is not really a sine cosine thingy thing. But let's see. And then this last one right here, pound of fish, da da da. I'm going to say no. Okay, so let's just count how many questions we circled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so that's 19 questions, okay? Just in the part 1. So let's go ahead and get started. So this question I did circle because it's giving me something that I can plug into the calculator. So let me just show you. Oh, wrong thing. I'm going to show you how to do this, okay? So if your calculator is not already in rad, which is radian, and if it's in degrees, you just go use the mouse button, right? The little mouse button, and then you press this button and it'll change it into red. And then all you're going to do next is you're going to plug in what it tells you, sine of 8 pi over 3. So where is sine? Sine is right here. You hit trig and then you get to sine. And then let's do our fraction bar. Cool, 8 pi. So 8, and then where is pi, right? Pi is over here at the bottom. 8 pi over 3. I hit enter. And then now all I have to do is I have to match and see which one is the same thing as that. So I just plug each of them in. I know that that's not the same thing as 1/2 or negative 1/2. So 1 and 2 are automatically wrong, right? These are wrong. So my answer, if I take a look, is positive. So far right now, boom, I'm done. You see what we just did? Sample. All right. So this one right here, as soon as you see she grades the homework, divides her students into 2 groups, that is an experiment. Okay, cool. This next one right here is using that button in the calculator. So just to remind you, you're going to do like, we're using our variable x, so we're going to do x and then the colon equal sign, and then I usually use 2.1. I try to get as random as possible. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to do x. We're going to do this little symbol, right? You see here next to the little book. So we hit control and this button, it's in red right now. And then I'm going to plug in my 2.1. Cool. And then I'm going to plug in what the calculation is, right? So parentheses. And again, you should be doing this with me. Don't just watch me do this, right? X minus 2. And then we're going to square it. Plus 27. Parentheses. X minus 2. And then close parentheses, minus 90. All right, so now I'm going to hit enter. So my final answer, or the answer that I want to get to, is negative 87.29. Cool, so I'm going to write that number down, negative 87.29. And I'm going to see which of these answer choices equals negatives, right? Negative 87.29. So I'm going to plug each of them in. So I'll start with the first one, x plus 30 minus times x minus 3. So parentheses, x plus 30. And you could do this the algebraic way, 100%. But I'm just want to show this in a way that everybody will get this right, or you can check it. So the first one is not it. Let's try the second one. So instead of me typing this whole thing again, I can just go up and hit enter here. And instead of x plus 30, it is, ooh, what is going on? It is 28. And then x minus 5. And boom, I'm done. So answer choice 2 is the one that matches, okay? Question number 3, what are the solutions to? So what we can do here is I'm going to, you plug this into the calculator, into the graph. All right, so you can, this is what I was just checking. You can do this question with the calculator, and you can use NSolve. So let's do this together. Or you could do like graph whatever and then see where they intersect. Both ways will work. I just want to show you with NSolve. Now, solutions, right? When you're talking about solutions, what is the only variable that you have here, right? What do we have? We are looking for x's. We are looking for x. We are not looking for the y's. So as soon as you see something that looks like that has y's, we don't want it. Now, this also has a y, right? The y is 0.75. We don't want that. These also has an x and a y, right? X and a y. We don't want anything with y's. So the only answer that makes sense is that. You could actually do this question in like 15 seconds if you know that. Now, what if you don't, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your calculator and you're going to do menu, or you could just type this in, but menu, option number 1 is numerical solve, and you're going to type in the function. So 2x, right, plus, and it's 5 over 2, so control division, 5 over 2, and then you're going to put the equal sign, and then the other one is going to be control division, and we're going to put 3 over x. 3 over x. Oh, 3 over x. Cool. And then after that, you remember you have to follow it with a comma and an X, tell it which variable you're looking for. Now, because in the previous one, I stored a number for X, I just opened up a new calculator and I didn't save changes every time. That way, my X's are not bolded. Like it doesn't show that I know what X is. I'm actually looking for X, okay? So now when you hit enter, you get 0.75. Okay, cool. So what does that tell me? That X equals 0.75 is a solution. So therefore, I know that, let's say again, if I didn't know that we're only looking for X's, this does not have 0.75, so I'd still be canceling that out. This one, the Y is 0.75, so that would automatically be wrong. And then I would have to check, you see how it's 0.75, 0.75, and -2, -2. So it could be either. So you would have to know that when you're looking for solutions, you're only looking for the X values, whatever is there, right? If I said I have Y equals X plus 3 and Y equals 2X minus 6, let's say, and you're looking for solutions and you actually have the Y, then you have to like put that down. You have to put that as part of your answer. But if it's just asking you for solutions, let's kind of talk about this real quick. That's the same thing as a zero. What are the zeros? That's the same thing as roots. And that's the same thing as x-intercepts. Those are all synonyms, okay? So again, whenever you see solutions, you are talking about the x's, not the y's, okay? Next one, the quotient is, so we are dividing this by x minus 3. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to look and see all the remainders here are 0. Here the remainder is 0. Here the remainder is 0. Here the remainder is 0. So if we get a remainder is 0, then we would have to do some extra math here. But if we don't, and we just get that we have -78, we do remainder theorem and we get -78, then we know that the answer is 3. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so we're going to do x minus 3 equals 0. Add 3 to both sides. Add 3 to both sides. And you get x is equal to 3. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our calculator. We're going to say x is equal to, so control this baby, and 3. I'm going to hit enter, and then we're going to plug in the actual equation. So 2x to the third, to the third. Cool. Then we're going to go to the right, and then we have minus 3x squared. X squared. Cool. I didn't do the minus 3x squared. Okay. And then we have minus 5x. And again, you should know where this is coming from, minus 12. And I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so now I'm not saying screwed, but I have to actually do the math. So I know that 3 does not work, okay? Because I did remainder theorem and 3 did not work. So now I have to actually divide it out. All right, so I just wrote down the problem correctly. So now let's go ahead and begin. So first thing you want to do is see how many times does x go into 2x to the third, or we're doing 2x to the third divided by x, which is 2x squared. Cool. So 2x squared. Cool. So remember, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Dad, mom, sister, brother, if you want to remember it like that. So we just divided, okay? Now we're going to multiply. So 2x squared times x is 2x to the third. Remember to switch the sign, because we're going to do multiply and subtract in the same step. 2x squared times -3 is -6x squared, but then you have to switch the sign to positive, okay? So anytime you do that, you'll know you're doing this right if the first term cancels out. Cool. So 6 plus -3, or -3 plus 6 is 3. So this is going to be 3x squared. Then you bring down the next term. So minus 5x. Now, there's a problem here, is there? No. There's 3, 2, 1, and then 0. Okay, so actually there's no problem. So we're not missing any things because, this is in descending order. So first, and then this is a 0. Cool. So we're good. So now we just brought down, and then now we're going to switch to the next number, okay? So now we have to see how many times does 3x squared divide into x. So 3x squared divided by x. So this is going to be 3x. So positive 3x. Cool. So now I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. 3x times x is 3x squared. Cool. Switch the sign. 3x times negative 3 is negative 9x. Switch the sign. This cancels out. Okay. This is 4x. Then we bring down the negative 12. All right, we're almost done. Can we stop actually? No. Actually, yeah, we can, right? This says 2x to the third, this says 2x to the third, so that's automatically wrong. So we know it's going to be 2x squared. So the only one that has 2x squared is that one. We already canceled this out because the negative 78 is the remainder, and we didn't get a remainder of negative 78. We got a remainder of 0. So technically, actually, we could stop right there, but let's just finish because why not? Okay. So the next thing that we're gonna do, let's do brown, is see how many times 4x goes into x. So 4x divided by x is 4. So I'm gonna do plus 4. Hey. And then we're gonna multiply. 4 times x is 4x. Change the sign. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Change that sign, and we get a remainder of 0. Cool. So our answer choice is 1. All right. Question number 6 again. As we talked about it before, that is probability. So we did not do that question. So in case you're curious, the answer choice was 1. And likelihood of it raining for the next 7 days. Okay, so we'll go through that lesson next semester. All right, next one, solutions, right? So for this one, again, you could do the thingy thing, the end solve, 100%. Should I show you how to do this algebraically? Well, this is when you'd have to use quadratic formula. Let's see what end solve does for this. All right. So just like always, I'm going to go ahead, hit new, no, just to give me a fresh start. So I'm going to do menu, option number 4, numerical solve, and I'm going to type in our function. So our function is 4x squared minus 7x, 4x squared minus 7x minus 2 equals negative 10. And then we got to put our comma and x, and then we hit enter. So this one says no solution found. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that it is not a real number. So let's go back. Anything that does not have an I in it is wrong. All right, that kind of narrows it down. Okay, so now let's see what we can do next. Let's do menu. Let's continue using our calculator. So polynomial tools, you see where it says find roots of polynomial? Let's do that. So our degree of this is squared, so 4x squared, so we're going to leave the degree as 2. That's our highest exponent. And I'm going to change this from real to complex. So now it's asking me what is the A, the B, and the C. Okay, so for me to do that, let me go back here. I have to add 10. I have to set this equal to 0. So add 10 to both sides. That's easily done. Cool. So I have 4x squared minus 7x plus 8 equals 0. So my A is 4. My B is negative 7, and my C is 8. Okay, so let's plug that in. So we have 4, and then I'm going to press tab, negative 7 and 8. Negative 7, and then 8. And now let's hit OK. And I have my answer, right? 7 eighths minus negative 1.11 I. Okay, so 7 eighths minus and plus negative 1.11. Okay, so which of these is going to give me negative 1.11? Does this give me negative 1.11? Does this give me 1.11? Well, I care about the 1.11. Okay, so now all I have to do is plug this into the calculator and see which one gives it to me. So looks like it's going to be the first one, but let's just check that. So if I do control, right, radical 79 over, go to the right, divided by 8. Does that give me the 1.11? There it is. Cool. So our answer choice is 2. And if you put the square root of 143 divided by 8, you will not get 1.11, which is what the calculator has. Do you see that? The calculator has that here. 1.11, 1.11, and we know there's an I there. Okay. All right, next one. So for this one, it says if x minus 5 is a factor. So what do we know about that? Automatically, we know that a remainder is equal to 0. Then which statement must be true? So refreshing our memory about remainder theorem, right? X minus 5, we have to set it equal to 0. So add 5, add 5. So we get x is equal to 5. That means that if we plug in a 5 here, like p of 5, okay, automatically right now, we're not plugging in negative 5, right? We got to switch the sign. So we know that p of 5 has to be, when you plug 5 into every x here, it has to give you a remainder of 0. So p of 5 equals 0. That one is choice 3. Okay. So again, if you know remainder theorem, this will be pretty straightforward. All right. So the next one, like I said, I counted this because we did go through this last time. It tells us that the mean is 212. So I'm going to put 2.12. Then you do plus or minus 2 times the standard deviation. It gives it to you as 0.05. So let's do it, right? What is 2.12 plus 2 times 0.05? That gives me the higher number, 2.22. So automatically I already know higher number is 2.22, so it has to be choice 3. But let's check the lower number, right? So now I go up and I grab this, and instead of the plus, I change that plus to a minus, and then I hit enter and I get 2.02. So the range of numbers is 2.02 to 2.22. Lots of 2's in that question. Okay. Is equivalent to. Here's another remainder theorem question. Or you could do long division here. I don't know why you would, but the remainders here are all different. This is -1, this is +1, this is -9, this is -4. Okay. So remainder theorem says x squared minus 1, that's what we're dividing by, set it equal to 0. Cool. So you get 1, 1. You get x squared is equal to 1. So what is this going to be? X is equal to +1 or -1. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and plug that into the calculator. So I'm going to do x. Let's see if it'll let me, if it gives me an error. Let's do +1, enter. And so now I'm plugging in the top of my function, which is 4x squared minus 5. So 4x squared minus 5, and I hit enter, and I get -1. So the remainder has to be -1. When I plug this in, the remainder is -1. Which one says -1 is a remainder? This is -4, this is -9. This one says +1, this one says -1. So choice 1 is our answer. Okay, not bad. There, now we have all our equivalent. Okay, is equivalent to, is equivalent to, is equivalent to. So let's do it. Okay, so this one is, you can store that 2.1 into the calculator. You can plug that in and then get the answer. Your answer choice is going to be 3. Do you really need me to show you this? But I should do it. I should do it. I should stop being lazy. If I expect you to do it, I should do it too, right? Right? Okay. So now I'm going to plug in the function. So I have square root of x. Go to the right. Oh, the x didn't go there. X. And then times. Make sure the radical is the times is outside of the radical. And then now I'm doing the 4th root of x to the 11th. Okay. So how do I get 4th root? You hit control and then this little arrow. See that red thing that's there? So now we can put the 4. We can go in, put the x to the 11th. And then I'm going to hit enter. So this is my answer that I'm going to look for, 11.148. 11.148. So this is what this expression is equal to, and then I have to see which one matches. So x, and again, this is not hard, it's just tedious, so why are we not getting it right, right? Okay, get these questions right. What am I doing? I'm telling you to get it right, and I am not plugging this in correctly. X to the 19th over 22. Is that the same? No. Okay, so the one that is the same is choice 3, like I said. So let's just do that one. X to the, and you have to plug these in. You cannot just know that. I know it because I've done this before. Control division. So 13 over, why does it do that? 13 over 4. I'm rushing. That's why it does it. Do you see how these two are the same? They're the same. So that's why that's the answer. All right, another equivalent to. So this one, same thing, right? So my x, can I just check this to see that x is still 2.1? Cool. And then I'm plugging in the answer choice, well, the actual whole thing first. So I squared, I is where pi is, remember? So I is here, y is, stop it. You stop it right now. Anytime my calculator acts weird, I'm just gonna start new. So x, control 2.1. All right, now let's try it. So now I have I. See, now it's working. It's because I was rushing and I was just like, just do this. Follow me. And then we have 5x minus 2. And then again, I is where pi is. So let me get out of this. I. And then I'm going to do squared. Close parentheses. Get out of this. And then I'm going to do squared. So 5x minus 2i squared. Cool. So 3.75 plus 2i. So I'm going to write that down. 3.75 plus 2i. And again, I'm going to have to plug each of these in to see which gives that to me. So let's do it. So we have negative 25 x squared. And then it's plus 20xi. X. Remember, I. Why didn't this go there? This is a plus. I is where pi is. So we got to do the, you doing this again? Squared. No, there's no square there. Okay, and then this is minus 4. And I'm going to hit that. So that's not the same thing. So just because, all right, you go up here. You can do this on your calculator too. Control C, and then come down here and paste it. Okay, so negative 25x squared plus 20xi, and then instead of minus 4, this is plus 4. So let me change that, and boom, there we go. So this is the one that is equivalent to it. So I'm done. Okay. Now, this says if 2 of f of x is subtracted from g of x. From is always first. So you're doing 3x squared minus 7x plus 25 minus 2 times f of x. So f of x is 7 over 2 x squared minus 5x plus 11. You could do store button here. Like you could say x is again equal to 2.1. You can plug this whole thing in, all of this in, hit enter and see which one matches. But because this is algebra 2, why don't I just do some algebra 2 and stop being lazy? Why don't I do that, right? Okay, so let's do it. When you are multiplying 2 times 7 halves, 2 times 7 halves in the calculator is just going to be 7. So this is going to be minus 7x squared. Now, this is the thing to remember. So this is subtracted from, this is a negative 2, right? So negative 2 times a positive 7 is negative 7. Okay, cool. Now, negative 2 times negative 5 is a positive 10, x. Okay, and then negative 2 times 11 is negative 22, right? So now I'm going to combine that with 3x squared minus 7x plus 25. The first one is like, it's like keep change, or you could just do it this way. So 3 minus 7 is negative 4x squared. Automatically, these two are wrong, right? So negative 4x squared. Negative 7 and positive 10 gives me positive 3x. So far right now, looks like the answer choice is 2. 25 minus 22 is positive 3. Yeah, so I was right. All right. Question number 14. This one, we're going to learn this later on if you wanted to, if you care. The answer is 3. For the next one, for number 15, this is a straight calculator question. So we have X, Y, and Z. So where do we go in the calculator for this? We're going to do menu. We're going to go to algebra. We're going to solve a system of linear equations. Okay. So we have 3 equations and we hit tab and that'll put the third one there for us. And then we can just start typing this in. So 5x plus 2y Now I'm just thinking, see how this x is bold? I think I have to do this in a new calculator. But let me see if I can keep going, and then let's see what it'll tell me. Minus z equals negative 14 equals negative 14. And then for the next one, we have 7y minus z equals what? 31. 31. And then we have 5y plus 4z minus 5x. And the other calculator, the one that we don't have, you have to put this in order. On our calculator, you don't have to. Okay, let's hit enter. Oh, it gives it to us. Cool. So we only want the value of x, and x is in x, y, and z, right? X is the first number. So the first number we have is negative 7. That means x is negative 7. Boom! Shakalaka! All right. Next one. We have a graph, daily decay rate. So we're going to figure out the daily decay rate over an 8-day period. 8-day interval is approximately. So we want to look and see approximately. Okay. So if we look and we see, let's see if we can figure out anything that this gives us. So our starting amount is 50. So 50, and then we have times some sort of decay rate, right? Some decay means that it's going down, it's less than 1. So 0 point something, some sort of number. And we're not really sure what that number is yet, but let's see if we can figure that out. And then it's to the x. So this is going to be our function. That's what we can kind of do. And then you could have done this multiple ways, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this. So now we're looking to see if we can figure out what the decay rate is. So how long does it take to go half, right? So half of 50 is 25. So at 25, what number is this? If I can figure out what this is right here, that might help me. So I know that this is 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So we have like about 2 point something, right? 2 point something is what the half number is. So let's see if we can figure out 2 coordinates. So the first coordinate we have is 0, 50. And the second coordinate that we have, do we have a better number? Yeah, right here, 2, and then whatever this number is. We can kind of figure out what that is about. Let's see. No, can we figure out what this is right here? This is like at 1, right? So what is this number about? So let's see if we can see it. This is, you can see this is 25, this is 50. Let's 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay, 25, 30, 35, 40. So if this is 40, then this is about 38. So it looks like I could do 38 out of 50 to figure out what that is, to see if we can figure out what that decay rate is. So 38 divided by 50, what is that? 38 divided by 50 is, okay, is that helpful? Oh, I need to change that number to a decimal. So convert to decimal, 0.76. Okay, is that an actual amount? 0.76. Okay, so I know that my decay rate is about 0.76. And then to the x, and it says the daily decay rate over an 8-day period interval is how much that's going to be. Actually, I'm doing too much. So I know that the daily decay rate, like it's 0.77, right? So all I have to do is 1 minus, well, 0.76. So 1 minus 0.76 is about 23, 24%. So if I go to my answer choices, 24% right there. And how do I know that, right? Remember, this is telling us whether it's growing or decaying. So this is our decay because this number is less than 1. We just talked about that, right? So how much less than 1 is it? 1 minus 0.76 is 24.24, which is the same thing as 24%. And it's approximately, so we're going to say that that's about 23%. Okay. All right. This next one. With your permission, I'm going to do this by hand. 10 to the 5x minus 2 equals 12. Okay. Let's do this by hand. And you could use the calculator for this. We kind of did this. This is equivalent, so you could plug this into the calculator 100%. But why not? We're in Algebra 2, right? Let's get our weird thing by itself. Our weird thing here is this. So how do we get rid of the 4? Divide both sides by 4. Okay? So we get 10 to the 5x minus 12 is equal to 3. Now our x is in the exponent, which means that we have to do log. So log, our base is 10, so the 10 goes on the bottom. You with me? Our answer, the exponent right here, the answer to a log is the exponent. So we put 5x minus 12 here. We're just going to put it in different places. And then the 3 is going to go right here. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get the x by itself. So add 12 to both sides. Add 12 to both sides. So then this cancels out, is equal to 5x. So we have log base 10 of 3 plus 12 is equal to 5x. Divide both sides by 5. So you get x is equal to this right here. So which one is that the same thing as now, right? So we have to look and see how we can get that to be one of the answers that's there. So log base 10 of 3 plus, and then we have so I'm looking at it and I'm like, where did I get this 12 from? It's not a 12. It's not a 12, Varghese. It's a 2. So it's 5x minus 2, right? Isn't that what we see here? 5x minus 2. So we have to add 2 to both sides. Add 2 to both sides. And this is not 12 again. This is 2. Good. So we're looking to see which one is equivalent to this. And log base 10 of 3. So this is the same thing. Log base, remember if there's no base, the base is 10. So log base 10 of 3 plus 2, all divided by 5. So that's the one that's equivalent. And like I said, you could use NSolve here to do this question. All right. The next one. So we're looking to see random sample and which one is greater than. So then the probability given. And like I said, I did not circle this, but if you're curious, the correct answer here is 1. We will go through that second semester. Okay. Inverse, you must know this. Take x and y and switch them. Okay. But we don't have a y here. Oh, yes, we do. F of x is y. So y equals the cube root of x. That's a horrible cube root. The cube root of x plus 4. Cool. Now we're going to switch. I'm going to change color so I remember that I switched it. X equals the cube root of y plus 4. Is that answer there? No, it's not. So we have to get minus 4, cancels out. So I have x minus 4 is equal to the cube root of y. How do I get rid of the cube root? I get the opposite of cube root is cube. So I'm going to cube one side. No, both sides. So this cancels out now. So I have y is equal to x minus 4 to the third. So which one says that? X minus 4 to the third. Cool. Not bad. Okay. Not bad. This next question right here. Can I just do this real quick? We went through this last time. 2 pi over b. Okay. So they're asking us, what is the value of b? So we do know the period. They're telling us that the period is 12. So I'm going to set this equal to 12. If there's no number on the bottom, there's an imaginary 1. I'm going to cross multiply here. So I have 12b is equal to 2 pi. How do I get the b by itself? Divide both sides by 12. So I get b is equal to 2 over 12 is 1/6. So pi over 6. So that's choice 1. This is not hard. I mean, we didn't learn it yet, but once we learn it, this is why we waited till the end to do this. Okay. So Jin solved the equation by squaring both sides. What extraneous solution did he find? Okay. So he's taking this and he's squaring it. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So extraneous means that when you plug it back in, it does not work. Right? So let's do it. So the square root and the square cancel each other out. So we're left with 4 minus x is equal to x plus 8 squared. When you square something, that means that you multiply it by itself. Cool. So I'm going to FOIL this out. X squared plus 16x plus 64 is what you should get, is equal to 4 minus x. Move everything to one side. Add x, add x. So this cancels out. So you're left with x squared plus 17x plus 60 equals 0. Now we're looking for two numbers that add to be 17 and multiply to be 60. 12 and 5 comes to mind. X plus 12 and x plus 5. I told you factoring is going to be on here. So you're going to set each of these equal to 0. Subtract 12 from both sides. And you get x is equal to negative 12. Subtract 5 from both sides. And you get x is equal to negative 5. Now they're telling you that one of them is extraneous, okay, which is the one that does not work. So if you were to plug in the negative 12, the negative 12 is the extraneous one. The negative 5 works. And how do I know that? Okay, let's do it. So square root of 4 minus, and then let's plug in negative 12. I'll show you that this does not work. Equals, does this equal negative 12 plus 8? Okay, so 4 plus 12 is the square root of 16. Is the square root of 16, excuse me. The same thing as negative 4. Square root of 16 is 4. Does 4 equal negative 4? It does not. So the negative 12 does not work. Negative 5 does work, and you can check that, okay? But square root of 4 minus negative 5, does this equal the same thing as negative 5 plus 8? Because this number right here is positive, the answer is going to be yes. So this is square root of 9. Is square root of 9 3? Yes. All right. Not equivalent to, this one again, like I said, that's just store button. So you could store a number in for x. So x equals 2.1. I usually do y is equal to 3.7. So store it and see which one is not, keyword here, not equivalent to. And the one that is not equivalent to is 2. Okay, I'm not going to plug that into the calculator. The next question. We're almost done with multiple choice. So I did circle this. And the reason why is because we're looking to see if this trail, which functions could represent a running trail whose minimum height is half of the minimum height of the original trail. Okay, so which of these functions? Okay, so I would say that this question is more a reading question than anything, but let's go over it, right? There, we're looking to see which function could represent a running trail whose minimum height is half of the minimum height of the original trail. So if you're taking for the first one, if you're doing this right here, right? If we take the graph and it says take x, so right now x goes as far as 6. If we do half of that, if we only look at this part of the graph, what is our minimum? Our minimum is still here at negative 16. The minimum does not change because we're only looking at half of the graph. And that half of the graph has a minimum at negative 16. Okay, so for 1, the minimum is negative 16 still. Okay, for 2, for this one right here, okay, it says take f of x and add 8 to it, which means that this is being shifted up 8. Remember that from Algebra 1, I hope. So let's see, right? We are taking the minimum, which now is negative 16, and we are moving it up 8. Boop. It's now here. So negative 16 plus 8 is equal to negative 8. So that's where our minimum, our new minimum is going to be at negative 8. Okay. Then for the third one, we are going to do half of f of x, right? So our minimum here, remember, this is f of x. Our minimum here is still negative 16. So half of negative 16 is also negative 8, right? So the original is negative 16. Which one is going to have half of that? So 2 and 3 are both going to have negative 8, which is half of negative 16. Half of negative 16, why can I write, is equal to negative 8, and they both have negative 8, okay? So 2 and 3 is our answer for this question. All right, the last one, number 24. Whoa, we should have counted this. We can completely do this. It's increased by 15% per day. As soon as you see that, this is a geometric, either series or sequence. As soon as we see total weight, we know it's going to be a geometric series. And we did this at question number 24 of the last one. Remember, this is our A1 minus A1 times R to the N all over 1 minus R. This question is completely doable. Let me change this. Oh, I didn't write it down. Okay. But anyway, you could actually do that question. So that's 20 questions out of the 24. So our A1, where are we starting? At 350. Minus our A1 again is another 350 times our rate. Okay. 115%. 15% plus it's increased from 100%. That's equal to 115%, which is the same thing as 1.15. That is our rate. So 1.15 to the N. So how many days are we doing this? From Monday until, from that Monday through the end of the week on Friday. That is 5 days. So to the 5th power over 1 minus 1.15. This whole thing can go into a calculator. And we're done. So let's do it. Okay. Control division. 350 minus 350 times 1.15. Close to the 5th all over 1 minus 1.15. Enter. So 2359 approximately is 2360. Okay, this is not bad. We got this. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. So 40 points. Okay, 40 points. What does that equate to? Let me pause you real quick. So this is the conversion chart of 40, right? Points, 40 points raw would equal a 74. That's just on the multiple choice alone. Just on the multiple choice. Come on, we can do this. All right. So I'm going to pause it and do a second video for the next one. All right.